Welcome to Co-Work Radio. I'm Jane Walker-Wood.
And I'm Catherine Raymock.
And we are here with Steve Nipper. He is owner of Soul Wave Water, which is a one-stop shop for all your water treatment needs, including commercial water softening, residential water, drinking water systems, salt-free systems, etc. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great, Jane. Thanks for having me here.
Soul Water is your own business, but you did not start off as an entrepreneur.
No, I did not.
So how did it begin for you?
Well, I was actually going back to 1992. I was working at the Santa Barbara Athletic Club, and one of the members there said, "Hey, I'm in the process of buying a new company. I'd like you to come run it for me."
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen every day.
Was that after you beat him at squash or before?
No, that was after I served him a beer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That works, too.
There we go. So he was in the process of buying a large franchise of water conditioning company here in town, and he wanted someone to come in and run it for him on the day-to-day.
Did you know anything about the business at the time?
I didn't know anything
You
about the
didn't.
business. I knew people,
Right.
and that's what he liked.
Yeah. And so what did you learn from that experience? How did it morph into where you are now?
Well, I learned how important it is to really take care of people and to listen to what their needs are. And, in the water conditioning industry, it's a very personal service. We're in people's showers. We're inside their dishwasher. We're in their water heater. And to approach it as a cookie cutter, that one solution fixes everything for everyone, is just the wrong approach. And so I learned to really listen to what my customers want and then make the recommendations on how they can achieve that.
It's interesting you say cookie cutter because Steve actually does my water. And one of the reasons I have stayed with him all over these years is because in where we live in Montecito and Santa Barbara, the water's different everywhere. Some people are on their own wells. And I found that other companies were trying to cookie cut me.
Yeah, that's correct. And that's why it's important to approach it from a sense of really looking at the granular home or the business that you're addressing. And now with the desalination plant online, we have a whole new influx of water for this. The waterfront area is getting this water that we've never seen in our area, and it's affecting it.
Can you explain a little bit about that? I'm fascinated by the desal plant. I was around when the first one, the ribbon cutting, and
Yes.
then the torrential rains after that, and now it's open again. But so the people that are getting water from the desal plant, it's just still a percentage of the water that they're receiving, right?
No, certain areas currently, and the desal plant's only been online for maybe 12 or 15 weeks now. So it's relatively new still. There's some areas down right near the desalination plant that are basically exclusively getting desalinated water.
And what is the quality of that water compared to other water?
It is much less hard, and the quality is actually better than the municipal surface water that we get in other parts of the town.
And that's because it's basically purified on site?
Yeah, they're using a large reverse osmosis system to purify the water. And so they're not making it as good as a regular residential RO would or the bottles that we deliver.
So you still need that RO system underneath your kitchen sink.
Yeah, it doesn't serve most people's needs.
What is it that most people don't understand about water and the importance of purifying the water that's coming into their home?
Yeah, I think most people, there's two schools of people. There are people who've had a water softener and they've lived with one, and they know how critical it is to protect their dishes and their laundry and their hair and their skin and their shower doors. Then there's the group of people who've never had one and they've just grown up on hard water, and they're used to the scale deposits on the fixtures. They're used to all the extra laundry soap they use. They're used to their hair being dry or frizzy. They just don't know any different.
Catherine and I both went to touch our hair at the same time.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I've had one and it's been malfunctioning, so I don't have it now. So I'm seeing the difference. I wonder, as somebody who is a water expert, do you develop like somebody that is a connoisseur of wines? Do you develop a water palate? I mean, would you be able to taste more of a difference than most people?
Yeah, over the years, I've refined my palate as much as I can, and different people have very different palates. Mm-hmm. So there are some people who have exceptional taste buds, and they can really tell the difference of what's in the water. Other people are kind of in the middle, but most people can tell the difference between Santa Barbara tap and good quality purified water.
Yeah, we don't have the best tap water here. Because, there's still many places you can go, certainly in Europe and even in Canada, and many places in the U.S. where you just drink it out of the tap.
Yeah, San Francisco is a great example.
Yeah. Or Las Vegas, right out of the tap.
Yeah.
Why is our water more challenged?
Have you looked at Lake Cachuma lately?
Yes. Okay. So it's picking up all the sediments.
Yeah. When your substructure is sandstone, And water is an amazing solvent. So the water is dissolving the rock that it's coming in contact with, and that's where the calcium carbonate, that's where all the hardness is coming from in our water. You get to somewhere like San Francisco, where it's up in the Sierras and it's granite. Well, that's like keeping your water in a Pyrex bowl. It's not the water isn't able to dissolve the granite because it's very hard. Where you get it here and you put it in sandstone, and now you get sandstone water.
That's interesting because I think a lot of people here would assume our water's better because we're a smaller town. Now, how do you feel about fluoride being added to the water? Because I know that's the law in some communities and not other communities.
Yeah, I think most people who call me with the fluoride concern are concerned because of its ability to raise blood pressure and go through the blood barrier very rapidly. My understanding is Santa Barbara doesn't fluoridate the water at all.
I thought Santa Barbara did, but Montecito didn't. But they're talking about doing it because, of course, it's for cavities. It's good.
Yeah, I have not heard that they're planning that. Reverse osmosis removes fluoride if it's added or if it's naturally occurring. So for those people who don't want to be drinking fluoridated water, reverse osmosis is the way to go.
And, you mentioned about Lake Kachuma, and I think it's so interesting. We turn on the tap, but we don't really consider the source and all of what happens. So we are, but not receiving all of our water from Lake Kachuma. We've got some state water. How does it actually come into Santa Barbara?
So the state water is added to the end of Lake Kachuma. So the state water that we get is dumped into Lake Kachuma, where it then blends in, and it then comes down the Tecolote Tunnel down to the treatment plant here. I think it's the Cater treatment plant, where it's then processed and filtered and chlorinated and then comes to us.
Did you ever think you'd have so much interest in water?
Never.
Let's talk about a part of your business is also bottled water
Yes.
that I know you do, and talk about a business that has just taken off over the last decade and all different kinds of waters. I mean, you're from flavored waters to waters that claim they are from the, wherever the spring is, giving you eternal life.
Yes.
How much different are bottled waters?
Bottled waters can be hugely different.
They can.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So to clarify, we only in our bottled water line, we made the choice to only do 5-gallon delivery. So we made the conscious effort to not do case water or individual serving. We just didn't want to contribute to that trash.
Yeah.
So we made a decision to not even offer it as a product line. Now, some clients would say, please do case water for us, or some of the nonprofits that we donate to want us to bring in individual serving, and we say, we can bring you 5-gallon bottles, you can use cups, but let's recycle that, let's reuse those bottles. One of the other services that we offer with our bottle delivery is emergency water, and this has come around a lot more since the devastation that we encountered the other.
Were you a part of the relief efforts there?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, what did you do?
With the brigade. I think I saw you with the brigade with the water.
Yeah, we've been working with
At
Bucket
Kick-Ash
Brigade.
Bash, you
We were at
donated
Kick-Ash,
all the water
yep.
for that.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we did when the boil water notice was enacted is anyone that we could actually get to, we were able to deliver 5-gallon bottles to them so they had a source of drinking water while the boil water notice was in effect.
Now, I actually had a question for you at the time, but my cell phone didn't work, so I couldn't call you. I still had water coming out of my reverse osmosis machine.
Yeah.
Was that okay to drink? Because I was boiling it anyway just to be safe, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't have any electricity, so I figured, well, it must be in the tank below.
Yeah, the water would have already been in the tank. And one of the things that reverse osmosis does is it removes bacteria and viruses from water. Now, we don't recommend running it on a system that we know where there's bacteria or viruses in the water. We would typically want to pre-treat that. But you were fine by drinking that water.
Because after a while, we couldn't boil it because they turned off the gas, and that's when I'm like, okay, we're out of here.
Was that all volunteer on your part through after the Thomas Fire and the mud debris flow?
We went in
That's
there and
amazing.
we would do water for anyone who really needed.
And the Kick-Ash Bash, that was an enormous amount of water that you had to provide.
That was a wonderful day.
It was. You've grown your business now. You have 5 full-time employees.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking back to when the guy approached you at the athletic club. But all of them have a similar theme, and your success now is it's in part your own personality, right? I mean, the guy would have approached you if you didn't have the personality that you do. So aside from having a business plan, how important is the person that you are in a business?
I think it's just about doing my best. and listening to what people want, listening to what people need, and really first serving what their needs are. And then as our business can do something for them, well, there's the return financially, but it's really about taking care of people.
Now, as you've grown in size, there's a lot more management involved. What have you learned about management tips that you could pass on to young entrepreneurs?
The last company I ran, I had 19, so 5 were still growing. I would say it's hire people that you think are going to replace you.
Oh, that's a great tip.
That is.
Yeah, don't be afraid that who you're hiring you think has great skills and they might do better than you.
That's interesting. I've heard sometimes in large corporations that people who get promoted aren't necessarily the best because the people above them are intimidated they might take the job. But if you own the company, you would never feel that.
Yeah, and what I learned when I was a manager, when I was a line manager, was that the first few times I was afraid that someone was going to come in and take over what I was doing or do it better. And what I realized is that no, what I need is a strong team, and I need people who actually want to excel and do better than me. And that's what being a team leader, I think, is about.
Well, you have to be very confident to want to find somebody that could potentially replace you. And you've probably grown into that person. Maybe you weren't always that person, is what I'm hearing you say. What are your plans for the future? You said we're just growing. So what would you like? Do you have a percentage of the market in mind that you think of? Is that how you gauge?
100.
Yeah. I think our short-term goal is we're looking for world domination in water. So I've got 2 current open positions I'm looking to fill currently. So we're looking to get to 7 full-time here in the next, hopefully, few weeks. But it's about taking...
What are the positions in case anybody's listening?
There we go.
Right
okay,
now.
I need another driver and delivery person who's out there interfacing with customers and delivering our product, and another service technician for doing installation and repair work.
Okay.
So we're looking for someone, again, both those positions, it's about interfacing with the customers. It's being the face of the company on site. I do what I can behind the scenes and at fundraisers and out in the community, but it's definitely a team effort.
We're talking with Steve Nipper. He is the CEO, the founder of Soul Wave Water. And if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Phone or email.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is?
805-845-5443.
All right. I'm going to be calling you after the show.
Yes, I
Get
know.
that hair under control, Catherine.
Check out that.
She thought she had to change her shampoo, but maybe not.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. You are listening to KZSB 1290 AM, Catherine Raymock, along with Jane Walker Wood, and we will be right back.
What's that?
This? The newest online business banking around.
Can you initiate wires and approve transfers?
Yes.
Pay bills?
Check.
Cash management?
Of course.
All business, all online, all on your phone.
You bet. My computer, too. It's Montecito Bank and Trust's new business online banking. It works as hard as I do.
Huh. Montecito Bank and Trust.
You got it. Montecito Bank and Trust. Behind every great community is a great bank. Montecito.bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Co-Work Radio. I'm Jane Walker Wood.
And I'm Catherine Raymock.
And we are here with Bob Vitamente.
Yeah, Bob is a local business consultant, also a volunteer mentor with SCORE. He is actually backed by popular demand, former CFO, and we were just having the most fascinating conversation there in the hallway. And sorry, we just had to run out and get you all of a sudden. It was like, oh, it's time for Bob. How are you?
I'm fine, and I made it here safe and sound, so it's all's well.
Good. We were talking, well, there's many things to talk about with SCORE, but let's just tell people what SCORE is in case it's the first time they've tuned in and want to know, because what a amazing resource.
It totally is. So SCORE is a volunteer organization that provides mentoring. It actually provides support to businesses on a totally free and a totally confidential basis. We're staffed. We have about 11,000 volunteers around the country. Operating out of about 300 chapters. We have a chapter here in Santa Barbara.
Do I have to qualify, or is everyone accepted?
Everyone's accepted. And that actually goes down to